Thank you for joining us now. I am Frank Omalape. With rising concerns around the seeming disappearance of newly redesigned notes, the Central Bank of Nigeria has said it is supplying more quantities of the new notes to banks. This was contained in a statement on Sunday by the bank's acting director, corporate communications, Isa AbdulMumim. According to the statement, banks are expected to disburse the new currencies to their customers via over-the-counter payment and automated teller machines. The statement by the CBN said they are committed to supplying the approved indent for the smooth running of the economy and therefore urge members of the public to disregard any report suggesting a phase-out of the redesigned currency. The CBN restated that the redesigned and old note will continue to be accepted as legal tender and circulate side by side by 4 transactions ahead of the December 2023 deadline, when the old 1,500 and 200 banknotes will eventually be phased out. As Nigerians make huge withdrawals from deposit money banks, the total amount of demand deposit dropped by 210 billion naira between January and March this year. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria show that demand deposit dropped from 20.12 trillion naira in January to 19.91 trillion naira by March this year. According to the Corporate Finance Institute, a demand deposit is money deposited into a bank account with funds that can be withdrawn on demand at any time. The Corporate Finance Institute further noted that many people will make large withdrawals from the bank during a financial crisis. It added that the large withdrawal was triggered by the narrow redesign policy of the CBN, which led to cash scarcity in the country. The policy seems to have led to a lack of trust in the banking system, with Nigerians making large withdrawals and hoarding cash. As Nigeria's debt profile continues to rise amid declining revenue, economic analysts have raised the alarm of the country's inability to meet her debt obligations in the face of daunting macroeconomic challenges. With just 28 days to the end of the present administration, there are worries about the next administration's capability to service public debt and maintain a healthy debt service ratio, which is below 15%. While speaking earlier today on the iBrandTV flagship business program, Business Breakfast, the former president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Professor Segun Ajibola, urged the incoming administration to convert its huge potential to public revenue while maintaining the current debt to GDP ratio.
Debt generally is one of the tools for accelerating growth and development. Developing economies alike. So whether the ratio is low, whether it's moderate, whether it's high, whatever level of debt you incur, and whatever is the ratio to your GDP, what is most important is your ability to account for that debt. If you're able to account for that debt, the debt is likely to have the desired impact on your economy by way of accelerating growth and development.
Away from then, now the federal government is reportedly set to proceed with its implementation of a 5% excise duty tax on mobile telephone services, fixed telephone and internet services. This is despite a recent communication by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa AbdulMumim, that the government has exempted the telecom sector from excise duty tax. However, the new fiscal policy measures for 2023 via circular dated 20th April and signed by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, revealed that the government was set to proceed with the implementation of the 5% excise duty on telecom services. Excise duty on telecom services has generated a lot of controversies since the Minister of Finance first announced its implementation in 2022, with telecom operators and consumers kicking against the tax. to counter the implementation of excise duty on telecom services, telecommunication consumers under the aegis of the National Association of Telecoms Subscribers are presently in court to fight the legality of the government's move. The Transmission Company of Nigeria says it will reconnect the 3 electricity distribution companies earlier disconnected from the national grid for non-compliance with market rules. Kano Discos, Kaduna Electric and Apple Electric were disconnected by the company, a situation which left customers in the franchise areas in total darkness for days. Edmond Edge, market operator of the TCN, in a statement in Abuja on Sunday said that the discos will be reconnected by midnight May 1st, following the intervention of the Minister of Power, Babakar Aliyu. He said that the TCN agreed to restore power supply to the discos in view of the collateral consequences on paying consumers. Edge, however, said that the disconnected defaulting market participants have only 60 days within which to honor their obligations to the market operator, and also advise other defaulters yet to be disconnected to do the needful within that period. And now the total estimated customers of electricity companies in the country stood at about 6 million in the third quarter of 2022, higher by 1.1% from 5.85 million in the second quarter of 2021, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics' latest data has indicated. The report showed that the estimated customers declined by 6.38% year-on-year in third quarter of last year from 6.32 million in third quarter of 2021. Although Nigeria has over 200 million population, the report put total customer numbers growth in third quarter 2022 at 10.94 million from 10.81 million in second quarter 2022, showing a rise of 1.2%. On a year-on-year basis, customer numbers in third quarter 2022 declined by 1.19% from third quarter 2021 to about 11.07 million. In addition, the total customer number in fourth quarter of 2022 stood at 11.06 million from 10.94 million in the third quarter of last year, an indication of 1.1% increase. On a year-on-year basis, customer numbers in fourth quarter of last year rose by 5.2% from 10.51 million in the fourth quarter of 2021.